Sarah Squares here, the Narcissistic Abuse Recovery Coach. I want to look today at Can You Cure a Narcissist? And I find this a particularly fascinating subject because we can't really ask a question until we know what makes a narcissist. So I'm going to kind of walk through and see what happens. How does this come about? So, the first thing is obviously the great debate of nature versus nurture. Are narcissists genetically predisposed to be that way, or is it all about social learning, how they're taught, their conditioning? So, first off, obviously, a child is created. A narcissist is a child that is created through the joining of the male sperm and the female egg. Now, both of those items, both the sperm and the egg, have their own genetic code, and they will contain dominant and recessive genes. Dominant genes are the ones which Darwin talks about, theory of evolution, and it's the strongest and the best qualities are the dominant ones, and the recessive ones slowly diminish over time. And so is narcissism, is it a dominant or a recessive gene? Is it in the genes? These are sort of questions that I find fascinating. Then once you've joined those two together and you're starting to form a fetus, there's 26 pairs of chromosomes, both from the male and the female. And is is there an issue there? Is it chromosomal? Is there something in the protein, the four main proteins that form DNA? Is there something in the formation there that creates a narcissist? Next up, we have the fetal brain development, and this depends on what is going on in the belly of the mother. So what food are they eating? She's producing a lot more cells, obviously, to create this fetus, to produce all of its organs, including the brain. Different foods are going to have different impacts on brain development. Are they taking drugs, either prescriptive or illegal? That will have a massive impact. Is any alcohol being consumed? What's the environment like? Are they living in a cold, damp, noisy apartment, or are they out in the country with lots of fresh air? These are all going to play a part in the development. And also, what's the mental health of the mother? Because that is going to play a massive part on the brain development of the child as well. So, is it a brain development abnormality? Does something go wrong at this stage? Next up, we have once they're born, from 0 to 5, a child is building up its internal working model, which basically means how it views itself inside, what its image of self is, and it's impacted by all these things. So memories of its day-to-day interactions, accumulating schemas and scripts, so what it's learning from each experience, guiding actions based upon previous interactions. So this is conditioning and learning theory. So if a child is always getting told off, they're going to learn a lot about negative reinforcement, expectations and effective experience associated with interaction. So are they getting a lot of love and affection? And this all clubs together to give a child an internal representation of who they think they are. And like I say, this is between 0 and 5. Once they go over 5, beliefs and experience equals behavior. So everything that their internal working model has become a belief. Every experience that they have will either prove or disprove that belief about them, and therefore their behaviors will have a knock-on effect on that. So everything that they go through, every period of human development that everyone goes through, which Erickson did stage development theory, if you want to look at that, but this will all impact on their belief, their experience, and therefore their behaviors. And again, it goes back to the conditioning. Their behaviors, how do they get treated when they behave? Is there negative or positive reinforcement based on their internal working model? Is negative actually good for them, or is positive? and all of these things are adding to the character of a person. Is this where it happens? Is this after 0 to 5 when they're learning about, they've already got an image of who they are? Are we reinforcing that? Is that how narcissism occurs? That it's being reinforced in their behaviours and their beliefs and their experiences? Are we contributing to this as a society, as individuals? So where do we break the cycle to cure a narcissist? Until we know exactly in that process where the elements of a narcissist come from, it's actually really hard. And this isn't just about curing a particular narcissist. This is also about preventing narcissism with our children. How do we, if we can prove that it's in the genes, how do we switch off that gene? How do we make it recessive? Because personally, it looks as though it's becoming a dominant gene within our culture. There's a lot, social media fame, celebrity adoration. This is all fueling a narcissistic idealization of the world. So is it becoming a dominant gene? Lots of questions. I'm aware I haven't necessarily answered any of them, and that's because I don't know. I don't know where it is. I don't know where it comes from, but it creates a discussion, and I would love to know what your thoughts on this. If you'd like further support, please either head to the website, which is www.thenurturingcoach.co.uk, my Facebook page, which is facebook.com/the nurturing coach. If you're trying to co-parent with a narcissist, it's facebook.com/groups/co-parenting with a narc. Don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. And if you want some one-to-one support, do get in touch at enquiries@thenurturingcoach.co.uk. Many thanks and take care.